Many thanks for staying with us. It's still the conversation on Lagos Television, and after talking about sachet drinks and beverages ban, we're talking about another almost ban in Lagos. That's tackling plastic pollution here in Lagos, and we have Ambassador Obese Phillips as the president, CEO, Sweep Foundation, Nigerian Waste Management. He's also a waste management expert.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
We're going straight to the point now. From your perspective as an environmentalist and an ambassador for the UN, how serious is this plastic pollution, especially here in Lagos?
Generally speaking, the crisis around the plastic pollution is a very serious one because of its implications, especially for a state like Lagos State. Lagos State is having about the largest population in the country, yet it's also having the smallest landmass in the country.
Okay.
So a combination of very large population stuck in a very small landmass, and you know where people are, then waste is generated. Data says that about 0.006 kilogram of waste is generated by an individual daily, and that's how we came across. We came about about 13 to 14,000 metric tons of waste that is generated daily, and about 35% of that is said to be plastics. That is humongous. That is humongous.
Huge.
Some of us are still challenging the idea that we have 22 million people in Lagos. We feel that it is way beyond that. Now we are, let's say, okay, let's even use the general data. 22 million people are generating waste on daily basis, and the use of plastic waste, plastic bottles and plastic materials, plastic packaging has become a lifestyle, something for us here.
For us, yeah. We use plastic practically for everything.
We use plastic for virtually everything. So you can now begin to imagine the quantum of plastic waste that is generated on daily basis. So it is a crisis situation. But I think, again, that the state government has responded positively to that challenge in two ways, especially number one, on the one hand, the ban on single-use plastics, which has taken effect and is giving very positive, we are having very positive reports, and the results are very positive. The impact on the environment is also very positive on the one hand, so the ban on single-use plastics. But there are also other forms of plastics, especially PETs, that are not banned, PET bottles that are used in...
But according to people like me and, the common Nigerian out there, plastic is plastic. They don't know the difference, So why was the emphasis on single-use plastic? If this PET bottles are also...
The emphasis is in the name. Single use. So
plastic is plastic.
So plastic is plastic, but the emphasis is in the name. From the name you can decipher that they are used once. So they are produced en masse and used only once. There's no problem if the plastic is...
How do you tell the difference?
No,
because all plastics they are used more than once in Nigeria.
No.
They are. No. Is it the straw?
The straw cannot be used more than once.
People use it more than once. People use it more than once.
Be used the black nylon cannot be used more than once. You go to market, it is given to you. Then it is a lifestyle.
So
it is a lifestyle.
It is just, let's leave it as just the name. It is just the name, yes.
So so the name and the utility that is around it. So you find that, let's take for instance the styrofoam that you mentioned earlier. When we get to the market and we buy fast foods using styrofoams, and immediately you consume the food content of the styrofoam, you discard it, and it cannot be used again, especially considering the weakness of the material. So it will be difficult to be used again, and they constitute a large proportion of what blocks our drainages. They constitute a large proportion of what causes the pollution we are talking about. I think that is where the government says that we need to control this, because they have different impacts on the environment.
On the environment.
Remember, our fishes, when they find their way into our water bodies. Fishes fail to distinguish between their food, their normal food, and these particles, so they continue to eat at it.
Yes.
And when they do, most times these fishes are caught and bought from the marketplaces, and we end up consuming them, so we have plastics in our body.
Okay, I'm glad that you've talked about, you know, just one of the public health risks of plastic, you know, associated with plastic pollution in places like urban Lagos. So how do we now discriminate, you know, between this one that we talked about, single use, and other normal plastics? Because it is just, I think that is where the problem lies also.
We have said that the single use are single use, and because they are single use, the utility is just once and for all.
Okay.
Yes, we understand that in our local areas, people out of poverty or whatever may want to use over and over again, but it is difficult to reuse a straw. It is difficult to reuse bread nylon, the nylon bag that is used to cover to package breads. It's difficult to reuse them again. Once you are done with them, you discard them. So they are single use, and because they are single use, their production is in multiple. So people want to continue using them, and they constitute large pollution. Okay,
aside of the fish in the water, in our waters, you know, swallowing the plastics, and of course, you know, it's blocking our drainages, what other nuisances do these plastics still continue to pose to our environment and of course our livelihood?
You know, blocking drainage is one thing. When they block the drainages, it leads to flooding. Yes. Causes flooding. The flooding, when the roads remain flooded over a long time. Remember Lagos Sea and the salt water and things. Yeah. So the roads continue to wear out, resulting in infrastructural decay. Okay. That is one. Now, when there is much flooding in a particular area, it leads to mosquito infestation, leading to health hazards
like malaria,
and other things. Okay. So it has health implications. It has public infrastructure implications. It has hygiene and other health
implications. Okay, just before we came on air, you know, we were speaking off camera, and you know, I asked if plastics can be eradicated completely, and you said maybe not. That, you know, it's not the use of plastic, is people's attitude. Okay, I'd like you to speak more on that.
Yeah, I happen to be one of those who think that plastic is not the problem, technically speaking.
Okay. Plastic is not the problem, technically speaking,
because we must make do with plastic. They solve a particular problem. They are cheap to produce. They are cheap to produce relative to other packagings that you might want to think about. So plastics is not the problem. The problem is our attitude and our lifestyle towards plastic. That's my personal view, in the sense that I hold this view because you see, if we dispose properly, in many other advanced countries, plastics are still being used very well. But because they are better educated, they have better lifestyles, they are better inclined to manage plastics properly. If in Nigeria, if in Lagos, there is proper education and enlightenment from the family end, from our kitchen,
not just from the government,
from the family, the mothers, the family, our kitchens, plastic is properly segregated and separated. You'll find out that the attitude towards plastic will change, and it will be properly managed. If plastic is properly managed, then it will not constitute a problem. The challenge is with the people. I live in an estate where, despite repeated pleadings with the residents, let us manage plastics, they are not interested. They see it as a waste, which LOMA has the mandate to manage. So they don't see why they should be involved in an activity that there's already there is LOMA to manage. You understand? But if we appropriately segregate our waste from the kitchen, you find out that virtually 70% to 80% of the waste that goes to our dump sites will not go to dump sites, because those that will use the biodegradable waste for compost and other things. We pick them up. Those that we use the plastics for some form of recycling, we pick them up. Other recyclables that can be upcycled will be picked up. At the end, you find out that only about 30%, 20-30% of the waste will go to the dump sites for LOMA to manage. But because of lack of education and other sundry issues, we are not able to manage our waste properly. And because we are not able to manage waste properly, the dump sites are filled up. About 70 to 80% of our waste go to the dump site. That should not be so. They should go for recycling.
I like the fact that you've talked about people's attitude and how we manage. For those of us watching, or for those of people watching you now, and they are hearing managing of their waste, plastics or waste from the home, I'd like you to take us through the process on how they can manage this plastics so that it doesn't give LOMA and of course the dump site so much trouble.
Okay, for that kind of education, let me put it this way. Lagos State has dump site issues. Virtually, because of our large population here in Lagos, virtually every other Nigerian is finding his way into Lagos State. Yes. It's about the safest state in the country. So now everybody's finding their way here, Lagos, and the dump sites are filled up. The Olusosun dump site by Ojota there ought to have been closed by now.
I think government is working on that.
Have been closed by now. Government is working at that. Ought to have been closed. Actually, all the dump sites, even beyond the issue of some of the dump sites have been encroached by different estates. So there are no dump sites no more. That is one fact that citizens of Lagos State must appreciate. If you generate waste and you do not manage them, where do you want them to take them to? Because virtually all the dump sites have issues that has to do with space. That is number one. So our citizens need to know this. Then number two, the only response, if you are a patriotic citizen of Lagos State, if you're a patriotic resident of Lagos State, it is your duty to help manage the size of waste that goes to the dump site. Because Lagos State has nowhere to take the waste. So it is a duty incumbent on you to creatively segregate your waste, separate them into their different streams. You have biodegradable waste, you put them. LOMA has made available their bins,
their waste bins.
So there are those bins for biodegradable waste, bins for recyclable waste. Let's even use just those two categories, those two classifications. So every household ought to separate their waste between biodegradable and recyclable. So if you do that, that is what is called waste management. That is what is called waste separation. That is waste segregation. So that when the LOMA truck comes, it focuses on the biodegradable waste and take them to the dump site so that they can degrade over there. And form methane gas and things like that over there. But the numerous recycling companies that exist in Lagos can now come and evacuate the recyclables and put them to different uses. Some are upcycled to other products, some are recycled, and when they are recycled, they become raw materials for other products also. So what our citizens should know is that there is a duty on them. I think the government have not passed that information in a way that citizens will understand it, that households should understand it.
They are doing, like you said, his attitude, his people's attitude.
But government still needs to do
more.
It is their duty.
It shouldn't be a one-off thing. It should be continuous.
So separate your waste at home. Keep the nylon bags, the water bottles, the plastic bottles, keep them in one container. Then your banana peel, plantain, yam peels, and all those that come from the kitchen, you put them in some other waste bins, so that when the LOMA people come, they will know what exactly to evacuate and where to take them to, where they can be managed. Now, if you commingle them, that is what is called commingling, where you join them together in a single container, like most of our household do. That's what we do. So you also guilty. So when you commingle them, it becomes difficult. You now find out that some LOMA trucks will stop on the street and you see
them sorting,
trying to sort.
Yes.
And while they are there, the waste is dispersed. The waste they have collected
it's still dropping.
Is dropping all over the place. And I call that waste dispersal. It is no longer waste disposal. It is waste dispersal.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but if these are sorted from home, right from your kitchen, if you know that it is a duty on you, is a civic responsibility. That is how I see it, that we ought to do. And that is what LTV is doing by reason of this program.
Yeah.
You separate and sort your waste from home, remove the yam peels, the banana peels, the plantain and other things, the food that is remaining that you didn't consume. You put them in one side, then you put the strong wood, bottle, every other thing, paper, you put them in some other side. Then you are ready for recycling. When you dump them, keep them outside your gate, the normal truck comes, they're able to pick what they should pick. And the other recycling companies come, like Sweet Foundation, they come, they pick what they can pick, and the community is clean.
Okay, before we talk about recycling now, we've talked about the role of government. We've talked about the role and attitude of people. The manufacturers of this plastics, the people who produce this plastic, do they have a role to play in all of this?
Yes, exactly. They do have roles. Not just a role, they do have roles to play.
Roles. Okay.
And but in Nigeria, how do I put this? In Nigeria, without a law, there is no offense.
But they're okay. Laws for who now? For the manufacturers?
Now, yes, without appropriate policy direction, policy framework for the manufacturers themselves. You can't hold them responsible, or you can't accuse them of not doing the right thing. But now there is, I know that there is a Lagos plastic waste policy. There is a Lagos plastic waste policy that streamlined the roles of the manufacturers, streamlined the roles of the government, the corporate organizations, and even communities in waste management. And I know that Lagos State has adopted, in quote, the polluters pay principle, which now holds them responsible. But before you begin to attack the manufacturers themselves, they belong to what they call the FIBRA and all these things. So they belong to organizations where those of them that manufacture products in plastic packaging particularly belong to that group, from where they have made certain commitments. And I know that the government, under the Lagos plastic waste policy, I don't think it has been passed into law. As soon as it is passed into law, I know that there's going to be waste fund, sort of a fund for the management of waste here in Lagos State, that virtually all the manufacturers will pool resources with government pooling resources, and from that they're able to manage the waste. So there is a commitment that is coming. I think very soon we should be seeing that.
Okay, let's go to recycling, which is what you do. You pick up these plastics. What is let's talk about recycling now. What is recycling, and how does it benefit, the city of Lagos and the people who live here?
In layman's language, it is giving another life to a product already used. So before now, let me put it this way: before now, the world economy hints on the produce, utilize, and discard principle, which is the linear economy. But these days, the world, everybody is driving towards a circular economy, which now says produce, use, reuse, then recycle. So they call it closing the loop. So the other one, the linear economy, is linear. You produce, you use, you discard. It is linear. But this one now is circular, in the form that you produce, you use, reuse, recycle, use. So when you recycle, the product that has come to its end of life, that has been used, is now turned to a raw material for another product. So the product is given a second life, sometimes a third life, if not a fourth life.
If not a fourth life.
Products like materials like aluminium cans can have as many lifetime as possible. So they're always around. You continue to recycle them. You continue to recycle them and use them. Even the PET bottles that we know. I know that organizations like beverage companies are now doing what they call bottle-to-bottle recycling, which means that when the bottle is used and the content is consumed, it can be recycled and turned into another bottle that will be used for the same purpose again.
Okay.
So it's called recycle PET or bottle-to-bottle recycling.
Okay. Now that you've explained what recycling is, and from your own experience and what you do, how much as Lagosians or Nigerians, accepted, this recycling?
Especially of plastics.
Especially of plastics.
Especially of plastics. To a very large extent, Lagosians embraced it.
Okay.
Not that is where the challenge is. Not because they didn't embrace a behavior. They didn't embrace the behavioral change that we would have wanted. We would have wanted a behavioral change towards waste generally.
Okay.
So our attitude is, it has been said, you must have seen it yourself. I have seen it on many occasions where people at the go-slow buy gala or mineral and consume the contents and discard it off the window from downfall, not just from downfall,
even from private cars.
From good private cars. So that is an attitudinal
change
problem.
Yeah, attitudinal problem.
Yes, so we are preaching attitudinal change. It's a lifestyle issue that we are saying, no, let's not go that way. You see some people will have waste, especially rainy season. During rainy season, they will continue to pile up their waste, and once it starts to rain and the flood come, you see them go to their backyard, bring out their drums of prepackaged waste and come and dump it into the gutters and the canals and the drainages. It is a lifestyle thing that we want people to change.
Okay.
You understand? So coming to recycling, yes, there has been an embrace of the recycling culture by Lagosians, particularly we are in Lagos. There is an embrace of it, but my challenge with it is that embrace is not coming from a place of knowledge, it's not coming from a place of changed behavior, it's not coming from a place of lifestyle change. It's coming from the economic angle, because we preach recycle your materials and get some incentives.
Some incentives.
Yes, so people actually embraced it. If you ask the question whether Lagosians embrace it, I would say yes. Lagosians embrace it
because of the benefit, not because of the attitude itself.
Yes.
Okay. When Lagos State government, issued a ban on the single-use plastics and styrofoam, how would you see government and that policy? Was it for safety, or was it just was it proactive? Yes, that's the word. Was it proactive or reactionary because of what was going on, or it was something they thought of before they saw the dangers of this plastics?
If you say was it reactive, I would say yes, but
it was more reactive.
That will not be the best description.
Okay.
Yes, number one, remember Lagos State prides itself as a mega city.
Okay.
Lagos State prides itself as a mega city, and the citizens, all of us combined, including those that are in government, all of us combined, our attitudes towards waste is actually frustrating government's effort at making Lagos a mega city. And waste management, if government fails to do, if government didn't do what they did, I can tell you of a truth, by now Lagosians, we will be wading through waste on our way to work, our way to school. You have to struggle for footpaths with waste to come to work. But Lagos State placed that ban, and that ban sent a message to the people that, look, government is serious towards it. So if I'm to say, I will say that the government has actually played its role very well. The ones they have played, I'm insisting, I'm convinced that there are more that the government should do and ought to do beyond what they are doing now. But the ones they have done very well. They have provided necessary enablement for those that play in the industry to do the work.
Okay, now that you mentioned, what government should do more, I want to find out if there are stiffer penalties for mismanagement of waste by the people is introduced. Would it, make these residents or people in Lagos more compliant to proper waste management or proper plastic waste management?
I will not agree.
If there are stiffer penalties.
As we speak, there are very stiff penalties.
Okay.
As we speak, governments virtually on daily basis, the Loma police virtually on daily basis is arresting. They have been enforcing. They've been enforcing this the government's policies on waste. They have. I see on the social media virtually every other day and on our WhatsApp groups, people being arrested for defacing our communities, people for dumping waste in illegal. Young men, some very good-looking young men and women are arrested on daily basis for dropping waste at the median. So government is doing that. But I have said that the ones they are doing very well. Like that enforcement, they've been doing it very well. But I'm saying that there's more that government should do. See, after many years of poor governance across the country, the people no longer trust the government.
When you say they don't longer trust the government,
that will take us to the realm of politics.
Okay.
So because of that, people deliberately, in my estimation, give government work. Since that is the only thing, the only way they know they can maybe afflict the government. Or,
so they deliberately give them
so there is need for proper education.
Okay.
Not
stiffer penalties now.
Not stiffer penalties, because they've been coming up with they are arresting, they are jailing people, they are asking people to do community work. I've seen it. They are arresting on daily basis. So the question is not stiffer penalties for me. The question is education. Education in ways that they will understand, not by threats of enforcement or threats of imprisonment or threats of
fine.
Yes, it is education. Education will change mindsets. We need government to, not just through government channels, but through known civil society groups and known organizations that are working with the government,
even schools,
to reach out to the people on why they should desist from this action. Because without education, the small girl say you go flog tire, you will continue to arrest and arrest and arrest, but the people will continue to behave that way. If you see now, my fear now is that if that education does not come, waste will continue to showcase on our in our roads. Okay,
another question that I almost forgot, which we talked about off air when you came in, was we all know that PET bottles and sachet water cause a large amount of this plastic pollution. So why would government now exclude them? Exactly, because
let me hazard a response to that. You see, my thinking, these are my personal views. PET bottles and sachet water, they are filling a gap.
But they still constitute a nuisance.
They are filling a gap. Like I said, if we are able to be educated properly on how to manage it, how to manage them, because they are filling a gap. Sachet water, without sachet so I think government is conscious of the fact that sachet water is filling a gap.
Okay.
That ordinarily would have rested on government to produce, to provide water to all nooks and crannies of the state. But sachet water does that, And it will be, if government bans such, you see, government policies are dependent on people's opinion. Government does not just come and, I mean, initiate a law, a regulation. No, they listen to the people also, and they know that sachet water and bottled water is filling a gap and filling a need, and I think that is why they were excluded.
Okay, can recycling alone, having considered people's attitude, so can recycling alone solve this issue of plastic pollution or reduction of production?
Nobody is talking about reduction of production. No.
Okay. Because because even recycling is not even working totally.
It's not working totally. I agree with you. Yeah. Even in this Lagos, the present understanding, let me say 2 years ago, 3 years ago, downwards to 2018, 2019, downwards. The recycling there was this enthusiasm around the plastic waste recycling, and that is why I say that it has had very tremendous impact in Lagos State. Yes, yes, because the enthusiasm, the awareness was created. If you bring plastic bottle, you will get some money, and everybody joined the bandwagon, and plastics went off the streets. Here in Lagos. It did. Single-use plastic went off the streets here in Lagos. So we must commend ourselves and the government for that.
Yeah.
Now, but to answer your question, whether recycling is a complete response or solution, I will say no, because even right now, the price, there is a downward slide in the money that is made from that recycling of PET bottles. Before it used to, we buy at 300, sell at 500 or 700, 600 naira, things like that, packaging. But now it has gone down to as low as 100 naira, 80 naira per kg. So even the people that enjoyed, I mean, before you come with just 10 kg of plastics, you're able to get about 3,000 naira. But the price now, with 10 kg of plastics, you barely get 1,000 naira. You just get about 800 naira. So that incentives that comes from recycling is going away. And I'm even fearing, personally, I have this fear that unless something is done, the reason for which they were picking up the plastics off the road is going away, and they will have no reason or incentives to pick the plastic up. So we might see a resurgence of plastics on our roads again, because the prices are not.
So why is reduction in production not talked about or even considered at all?
I told you that. How are you going to? No. But on a serious note, you need to understand it, and our audience need to understand it. It is the cheapest packaging you can get now.
Is it cheaper than bottle? Okay. Yes.
It is the cheapest.
It's cheaper than bottle.
Beyond even being cheaper than bottle, I was listening to a discussion somewhere, and the big manufacturers, they say if they load a truck full of soft drink, bottled this thing, and there's an accident on the road,
they lose completely. You can't salvage it at all.
You can't salvage anything. But if it's made of plastics, more than 95% of the products will be saved when there's an issue, there's an accident. You understand? So it looks more cheaper, more economical to manage for the manufacturer. So nobody is talking about reduction. I am thinking, and that's my personal view, that management is the issue. And it has to begin with us, our lifestyles. If we change our lifestyles towards everything generally, towards even our country, our love for our country.
Our love for the country.
You understand? I mean, change our attitude towards work. Towards work, a lot of people don't come to work. That's a separate. You understand? We change our attitude towards waste generally. People discard waste indiscriminately, not thinking anything. I don't know where. Maybe they think that when they throw away something that maybe the wind will carry it to outer space. Or no, it's not going nowhere.
It disperses.
It just goes to somewhere else,
somewhere
and
else.
it will constitute a nuisance there. And our people need to understand it. So generally speaking, I am calling for education, because if we do not properly educate the government must. The government
continue to
must
educate
the people, not using government channels only. But the government organizations like yours, LTV, thank God for this program that we are able to explain some things, but more has to do in terms of corporate social responsibility in providing that education for the people in our different languages, so that people will get to appreciate that even
that the government policies,
management of waste from your own house is, for me, is a civic responsibility. It's a civic responsibility. It's a duty you owe to the government, especially here in Lagos State, where there's no land for government to go and establish a new. When Ojota was used for this, then the population was not this much.
True.
Homes, residential homes, I mean, they are taking over most of the dump sites. People need accommodation. People need homes. So it is a duty that we owe to ourselves and to the government and to the state itself that we manage waste, because there's nowhere more people are coming in, more waste is being generated. Where will it go to? Sometimes the trucks pick waste from our homes, go to the dump site and spend maybe 5 days waiting for their turn to dislodge. If we don't do something about it, government must find a way to say it that the people will understand it, that there is a crisis.
There is a crisis. Education is key. Awareness is key in tackling plastic pollution in Lagos. It is not just the responsibility of the government. It is also our responsibility to change our attitude in the way we manage our waste, especially plastics, here in Lagos and, of course, Nigeria as a whole. Thank you very much. Ambassador Obusi Phillips is the President, CEO, SWIP Foundation Nigeria, and he's also a waste management expert, and we've been tackling plastic pollution here in Lagos. We're going on a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues.